for the people who are watching this program, who might identify themselves as a procrastinator, and every year they think to themselves, I'd like to procrastinate less in my life.
Yes.
What can they do right away?
I think the first thing is to notice the way you talk to yourself, because you are the manager of your mind and body. Your mind and body are your workers. If you're vague about where to go, they don't know where to go. If you say, I've got to get things done, then they are anxious because they can't get to done. They can't get to the future. It doesn't exist. If you say you must have this goal, you need an A on this exam, then you haven't told the workers when to start, where to start, what to do. So notice your usual default ways of talking to yourself that are counterproductive. Focus instead on the language of production, which I outlined there, because I know it only takes 2 phrases to create procrastination, but I identify 5 main ones that pretty much guarantee if you talk to yourself in that language, you'll procrastinate. I have to finish something big and important, do it perfectly, and suffer with no fun.
Right.
I
identify with all 5 of those,
right.
by the way.
That's why we have guilt-free play, because I discovered the people who are producers instead say, I choose to start for 15 minutes. You fill in that. There could be 30 minutes, 60 minutes. I choose to start for a short period of time. I'm going to do a rough draft. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I've got plenty of guilt-free play in my schedule. I'm not procrastinating on living. Therefore, I resent my work less. I get started earlier so that, in fact, my time with my family, my balanced life time, my leisure time, even my television watching time is fully enjoyable. High-quality play, high-quality work.
That seems like such a profound reframing of taking action.
Yes, I think it is, because this is what I saw as a graduate student and as a new psychologist, because I worked for years with students at University of California, Berkeley. And the book is really based on what I saw in the groups that I led on completing your doctoral dissertation, which is a big, lonely project. And people were taking up to 13 years. Well, I did mine in 1 year. And I go, well, what do I know that they're not using? And how can I share that with them? And that's what started the Now Habit.
Right.
The ones like myself who finished in less than a year or less than 2 years had quality play, focused time with friends, with sports, with music, other things they were doing in their life. And like me, put in 15 to 20 focused hours on their main project in their life. What is the one thing on your job or in your personal life that's going to make your life different within a year? It's not 100 hours a week. In fact, those who were suffering, those who were workaholics, weren't getting anything done. It's those who were choosing to start every day and totaling up about 15 hours a week. That's how long it takes me to write a book. 15 hours a week for about a year. 9 months to a year. My doctoral dissertation, I know because I kept strict punch in, punch out. Whenever I got up to do something else, I punched out. And at that time, I kept 30 minutes. I needed at least 30 minutes before I could take credit. I know that all of those hours, about 1,000 hours, were quality, uninterrupted time.
So there's a difference between the quantity and the quality.
Yes, and there's another puritanical concept. It's like, get in there earlier, stay longer, work harder. Well, to me, that doesn't work. That's Puritanism. It doesn't give credit to the human being.
Right.
It just pushes your ego sense of striving harder. No, if it's really hard and difficult, you're probably going in the wrong direction. If you push on the door and it doesn't open, a Puritan will say, start earlier, stay longer, you're not working hard enough. What I'm saying in this book, which is heretical for some people, is, the door is probably hinged so that it pulls open easily. It should be easy. If you're going in the wrong direction, it's hard. It's got to be easier. And then it's fun, it's exciting, and it's creative.
Now, you actually touched a minute ago on something I wanted to ask you about. You write in the Now Habit the concept of guilt-free play. And what is that?
Well,
And why is that important?
I'll give you a personal example. I mean, there was some television shows that I would be watching, and I wasn't fully enjoying it because I wasn't working on something that was important to me. Could have been my doctoral dissertation or one of my books. And I realized I am not enjoying my fun time. And as I say in the Now Habit, I'm sorry to tell you, I'm sorry to break the news to you, but there are times when no amount of chocolate chip cookies or television will give you as much release and pleasure as 30 minutes of focused work on something you've been avoiding. And I found that to be true. If I went and worked for 30 minutes, then I sort of earned the playtime, and then I could enjoy the television show or the guitar playing or even the jogging or going to the gym. But the people I talk to, I work with, say, well, I should be also losing weight and getting in shape, right? So I'm going to go and I'm going to run. I was like, wait a minute. For 15 to 30 minutes, if you will sit down and start on what we just talked about, you will make a breakthrough. You will seed ideas in your brain that are working for you in the background, and you will have positive habit formation. And that is, you face the thing that's difficult, and then you follow it with the alternative, like going to run. If you go to run, then what you're reinforcing is avoidance.
Right.
If you eat or watch television, and let's make it high quality. So I want high quality play leads to high quality work. I earned it, I can savor it.
I wondered if there are major blocks to taking action that you have found to be common among people.
Yes, and what I hear is people say, I lack confidence, I lack motivation. I'm afraid of criticism. So a lot of those are taken care of when you do some work on your worth as a person. That you break that equation that your work equals your worth. You break that equation and your worth is safe. So I don't need to worry so much about what other people say. But I'm also not sending a child part of me that is worried about 100% approval. 100% approval seldom happens, even for rock stars. You know, there's always someone criticizing. There's always a critic. So as someone who gives speeches, I know 2 to 4 out of 100 people aren't going to like what I do, even if I get excellent marks from everyone else. But I had to learn that. So I maintain my worth, I accept myself as human, and I'm not waiting to feel motivated. When you look at people who do hard labor, construction for example, I don't think they're waiting to feel motivated to do the job. They have a commitment to showing up. It's that adult commitment to showing up that has nothing to do with waiting for your ego to feel motivated or confident. It's a choice again. That's the word I use so often.
Choice.
Choose to start. I choose to start for 15 minutes to do a rough draft, and I've got plenty of guilt-free quality play in my life. I'm not procrastinating on living, which switches things around and motivates me to use my playtime as a kind of near deadline, not the ultimate deadline of the project, which is too far away to motivate me really. But this afternoon I'm going to meet friends for dinner, so I need to get started right away. And it changes things around, and in fact it uses that great compulsion we have, that whenever we have a deadline, we tend to work best under pressure.
Pressure prompted.
Which is what procrastinators say. I work best under pressure, which means at the last minute. But you're missing out on the creativity when you start weeks earlier and you seed your brain and the night shift works on it for you. I have a wonderful chapter in there which was ahead of its time called the flow state, working in the flow state, that Dr. Csikszentmihalyi from the University of Chicago started studies on. And that is, you can get into a relaxed state and seed your subconscious mind with thoughts and wake up in the morning with decisions, breakthroughs, creative solutions. In fact, a number of writers now, I now know, work that way. So you now have time, night after night, and activity after activity, for things to come to you.
Right.
Which is an interesting concept. It's an interesting phrase. It comes to who? It comes from where? It comes from your unconscious genius to your conscious mind. So your conscious mind is not out there alone. It's now connected with your inner genius. And that's fun. And you ask any 4-year-old, how did you do that? And they'll say, I don't know. It was easy. It just comes to me.
Right.
You listen to athletes all the time say, I was in the zone.
Right.
I don't know how to do that. But there's that wonderful sense of connecting left brain and right brain rather than struggling, tightening the jaw. Because a lot of what I have in here is, in the Now Habit, is based on my work with peak performing athletes as well. What does it take to be a peak performer?
Well, thank you for being with us today.
Pleasure.
I'm so happy to talk to you. And for anyone out there who feels like they procrastinate or who really just wants to go further in life, I heartily recommend this book, The Now Habit. It is a book that sells more and more every year, and the reason is because people read it, use it, and then they tell all of their friends. And it's an amazing book.